guys and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Ailey, thanks for watching. Today's video is going to be a first impressions slash review of the Ordinary Colours foundations. And I've been waiting for these for 2 months or something like that. I ordered these in March, very end of March, and they appeared at the start of June, just they're gone. And basically these have been so hyped that they've been sold out for all that time. They were taking orders for them, but what happened was I think they ran out of pumps and they couldn't source any more pumps, so they were waiting to get them. And they did have more of the serum foundation, I think, but they couldn't get any of the coverage foundation, and because I ordered both, my whole order was delayed. So I have them now, and what I plan on doing is I will show you how it applies, let you know my thoughts on it, and then hopefully I will check in a couple of hours time or a few hours time, whatever, and let you know how it's going. So without further ado, let's just get into the video. And if you like it, I'd love if you could give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I post videos every Wednesday and Friday, so hopefully I will see you soon. I've decided to do the coverage foundation, which is the higher coverage one, because I've seen a lot of reviews and demos and things like that of the serum foundation, because it was the coverage foundation that was way out of stock. I do have both, so this one is the serum and this one is the coverage one. In the coverage foundation I got 2p and 2.1p. Some of them weren't even available, so that's why I got those ones. I figured I would try this out today. So the serum one, if you want to see a review and demo on this with my skin, I have dry skin, so this one will be really good for me, but it is a really light coverage. I have used this already and I love it. But enough about that, that's not what this video is about. This video is about the coverage foundation. Like I said, I haven't seen very many reviews on this because it was so out of stock, so I thought it would be really good to try this out and show you guys what I thought of it. So I'm just going to show you how it applies, and I decided I'm a beauty blender, beauty sponge addict. I just love them. I can't tear away from them, so I'm going to do one half of my face with this. And because I don't really like brushes and I don't really want to taint the foundation by using a foundation brush that I know I'm going to hate to use anyway, I'm going to use my MAC Oval 6 brush, because I know that out of any foundation brush I do like this one the most. I am going to jump right in and I'm going to use this primer on my T-zone area, and I'm trying this really just more to see if it'll blur my pores and stuff like that, not really as a oil control or anything like that, because I don't really get oily. Boxes that it comes in are really nice and kind of, they're almost a kind of gunmetal colour, they're not black, so it's really quite sleek looking for something you've paid £5 for. And these are the little bottles, and the pumps actually have a sort of NARS feeling texture. Not quite as soft, but you know, they've got that kind of smooth texture to them. They come in plastic bottles, which is great for travel. You do get 1 fluid ounce in here, so it's about the same as most foundations. So to unlock the pump, it's literally just a wee twist. Oh, twist it the right way, Ailey. They come out in like really small pumps. It might just be because of the first little pump. So that was 1 pump, and I'm just going to use my beauty blender on this side. It's a nice consistency. It doesn't really smell of anything. It smells a little bit skincare-like, if that makes any sense. And it blends out literally in a second. So that's 1 tiny little pump. I would never use that little amount of foundation. And it's literally just sort of, if we have a look, it's just evened out my skin. But if you look at my sponge, it has soaked up a lot of the product. So I'm gonna just try, that's a slightly better sized pump. It is, you can see a little bit on the runny side. So that's 2 pumps, and this foundation's actually really glowy. If you can see, it looks like I've actually got a really natural highlight on my cheek, and it feels a little bit tacky. But it obviously hasn't had very long, and being put on with a damp beauty blender isn't going to help, or beauty sponge. But I really like that. Not for like a full glam going out look or anything like that, but that for like every day to me, and at £5 I could justify it every day. So I'm going to just go on to the other side, and I'm going to take a pump up first and do the same. You can probably see, if you look on this side to this side, that it does oxidize. This obviously looks a lot lighter than this does, so I would bear that in mind with your colour choice. There you go, you can see it oxidise on different parts of my face. So you can see it changing colour slightly. And I would say with a brush, it is actually smoothing out really nicely. I often find with this brush that it does still leave streaks, because obviously you swipe this brush more than stipple it, so you do get streaks, but that's not streaking in the slightest. It's actually really sinking into my skin. Oh, hair. It's literally just pushing the product into my skin, and that is one pump. So this side is the beauty sponge and this is with 2 pumps. This is the brush side and this is with 1 pump. So I'm going to add, it's actually not even 1 pump, that's still left on the back of my hand. So I'm just going to take the excess from the back of my hand straight onto the brush and just go over the bits that I think that I need the coverage. And I noticed with this brush it doesn't really work when you stipple it, but if you do a sort of pat and drag motion, it seems to work really well. But like I said before, I don't have a great relationship with brushes. My skin, it seems to aggravate, and it always leaves the foundation quite streaky. Like if you can, I don't know if you can see that just now, but my initial swipe is a streaky mess. But as this foundation sort of melts into your skin and warms up with your body heat, it just seems to, it doesn't sit on the surface of your skin, it literally sinks in. I really like the coverage that's given. As it starts to dry, it does start to kind of move around a little bit, but if I would stop playing with it. So my camera battery died and I had to put it in charge for like 10 minutes just to get this video done. So I would definitely recommend either applying this with your fingers or applying it with a brush. It would just save you product in the end. And as you can probably see, I mean, it doesn't cover, it's not a full coverage foundation, but I don't think it doesn't claim to be full coverage, it just claims to be like a higher coverage. So I'm taking it that means that it's a higher coverage than their serum foundation. So it does kind of leave marks and things like that. You can actually still see a couple of my blemishes. These are more sort of kind of scars just now. Marks left over from old blemishes. But it does kind of leave them peeking through. But, I mean, I don't mind the colour. I think the colour is quite nice. And it is quite a good match for me just now, even though I have like this craziness going on. It feels so nice and lightweight. And as I said, it is quite sort of set in now. It is a little bit tacky, so I would say like maybe just a wee dusting of powder over the top. I think if you were to put blush or bronzer or anything like that on top, it might catch a little bit. So I would say definitely set it, but if you're dry like me, you should only need the tiniest amount of powder to set it with. I mean, it's grabbing a little bit of my smile lines just now, but literally with me just doing that, it's disappeared. Everything always sort of grabs around my nose because I have really dry patches right just in the cracks of my nose, and everywhere else looks fine. It's not grabbing any dry patches anywhere else, and it is a reasonable coverage. So I'm going to go and finish the rest of my makeup off camera, and I'll come back and let you know kind of my final thoughts and how everything else went on top, and I'll charge this battery. So I will see you in just a second. Okay guys, so that is the rest of my makeup complete, and I charged up my battery a little bit anyway. Everything that I put on top of it actually blended out really nicely. I actually did use a couple of new products and I really like how they blended on top, and the glowiness of the foundation does come through. I am wearing highlighter, but I really like this foundation. I like how it feels. You can see that you still can see stuff through the foundation, but if you watched my channel in the past, you know that that doesn't really bother me. I don't mind if things show through a little bit. I'd rather have them show through than have it really heavy and cakey. So I always just let a couple of little bits shine through rather than try and kind of pile on the foundation and cover it up. Anyway, I set it with my Benefit Hello Flawless, and I really just dipped my brush in and swirled it over the foundation just so that it was a really sort of light coverage. It literally was enough just to set it and no more. And I used the Cheek Parade palette, which I should have in a haul. Either it will be up or it will be up on my next upload. And I used Hula Light for bronzer, I used Hula for my contour, and I used California as my blush. what I will do is obviously I will wear it for the rest of the day. It is a wee bit late on just now. It's 2 in the afternoon just now, and I'll just kind of check in or something like that. I'll probably just be wearing this for the rest of the day. I'm not up to very much because the weather's crap. It's not really grabbing onto any dry patches. What I'll do is I'll zoom you in lower so you can actually see my skin, but if you can probably see in around my nose, it does grab. Every single foundation I use always grabs around about my nostrils, but it's not really noticeable. Like if you're looking at me front on, you can't see it. If I really point it out, you can see it. I have a little bit of a blemish disappearing here, and it's a wee bit dry and it's grabbing onto that. But my skin as a whole, you can probably see, is actually really smooth looking. It's not accentuating anything. It hasn't really accentuated my pores or anything like that. So yeah, I am really liking this so far. If I have anything else to say just now, as I say, I will come back and let you know how I'm getting on with it, but so far so good. I really like it, and if it does last a good amount of time, I think it'll be a perfect day-to-day foundation that you can wear if you're out and about doing anything during the day. And yeah, so I'll see you guys in a little bit. Hi guys, so I'm back and it's now 10 to 4 in the afternoon. I don't have my phone on me, I left it downstairs, but I just thought that I would do my first check-in. I put it on at around 20 to 2, I think. So that means it's been on for just over 2 hours, and yeah, it's holding up pretty good. There's nothing wrong with it. It has kind of bunched up around my nose a little bit and kind of melted a little bit, if that's what you could call it. I'll zoom you in so you can get a better look. So you can probably see kind of right in around about my nose, it's kind of broken up a little bit. Around here, it has grabbed onto maybe 1 or 2 little dry patches, but I mean, apart from that, it has lasted really well. It hasn't really changed much. I don't really tend to get very oily anyway, but it hasn't gotten very oily or anything like that. It still looks pretty much the same as when I put it on, so yeah, there's not really been a massive amount of change. It has only been 2 hours, right enough, but there's not been a massive change in it at all. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with it. So I will check back in with you in another couple of hours and let you know how it's getting on. Hi guys, so it is now 7:25, and I've had this foundation on since like 20 to 2, I think. So that's coming up on 6 hours, and as you can see, it is a little bit on the shiny side. I have got quite a lot of highlight on, but you'll be able to see from the sections in the video before how it's changed anyway. As I touch it, it doesn't feel oily. It looks a little bit shiny kind of around these areas. Obviously my highlight is here and here, so it is a little bit shiny in my T-zone area. But I actually fell asleep. I don't know why, I just started feeling a little bit rough, and I ended up having to snooze on the couch for like an hour and a half or something like that, and this survived. I mean, it's not worn away anywhere, maybe like the tiniest little bit around here, but overall it hasn't really worn away. And when I sleep, I tend to kind of really overheat. I get really warm, so it really doesn't surprise me that it's gone a little bit shiny. So if that was to happen, normally I would just kind of powder it a little bit and see how it went. But I'll zoom you in so you can see a little bit better. Obviously these bright lights are going to make me look more shiny anyway, but you can see there it hasn't melted anymore around about my nostrils. It hasn't grabbed on anymore to any dry areas or anything like that. It literally has just got really quite dewy looking. It doesn't look, to me in my mirror anyway, I don't know how it'll be coming off on camera, but it doesn't look greasy or anything like that. It just looks super dewy and quite highlighted. So I mean, I think if you were wanting to wear this and you didn't really want to throw on a load of highlight or anything like that, the foundation does it for you, because obviously it had that kind of natural highlight up here anyway. This obviously is the side I did with a brush, and this is the side I did with a beauty blender. I actually think the side I did with a brush is lasted a lot better. I don't know if that's just because obviously there would have been more moisture in this side anyway, as opposed to this side, but this is the side that I'm preferring anyway. My nose is my most problematic area because, funnily enough, it's dry. It's really weird. Normally your nose and your forehead is like the oiliest part of your face, but my nose is stupidly dry, and you normally see the foundation not really break up but cling on to all the little dry patches. And I don't know if you can see like this close up, but it really hasn't done that with this foundation. So there's like a couple of tiny little bits, but you really have to be close up to see them. So I'm really impressed with this foundation, and just for the sake of the video, what I'm going to do is just slightly, because I think if I hadn't fallen asleep it probably wouldn't be this dewy, but I'm just going to stick a little bit of powder on just to see what that does. And I literally went like that in my powder. I really don't like to add a load of powder because my skin is dry. That literally mattified it like that. I really like how the foundation is looking now that I've done that. It's just taken the extra bit of shine off my forehead and my little bit around my nose, and my chin I did stick a little bit of highlight on anyway. But yeah, that is literally taking it back, and I would say that it pretty much looks how it looked when I applied it. I don't see this foundation breaking down any more than it already has, especially seeing as I actually slept. I mean, I think all of my makeup is held up pretty well. This coupled with this foundation though is a win for me. I don't think I'll use my beauty blender with it again, but I'll definitely be using it with this brush from now on. It's just really quick and easy to apply. But that's 5 hours and I don't actually see a difference at all from my first check-in. I don't actually, to be honest, see a difference from when I first applied it. After 5 hours, normally my foundation would be all broken down around on my nose, like it would be really dry, it would be really melted around my nose, it would be grabbing onto dry patches because I do have blemishes that cause little dry patches, and normally it would have worn off around about my jawline because I'm really bad for leaning on my hand, or you know, I'll lean my hand on my face, so it always disappears around about here because I'll do it on both sides. So I'm really impressed, I really like it, and yeah, if you got this foundation, let me know what you thought of it. Let me know your experiences with it. If you share my opinion, if you hated it, if you've got the serum one, let me know what you think. So I hope that this review wear test thing was helpful. This is the first time I've ever done it. I do think that I'm going to do it with the Dior foundation just to give it a fair shot, to let you guys see how it really performs. And I really like these videos, so I don't know why it's taking me so long to actually do a video like this. I think that I'll probably do it with any foundation I get, just to let you guys see how it does wear. If you did enjoy this video, I would love if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I post videos every Wednesday and Friday, so hopefully I will see you guys soon. Bye.